Hey everyone, I'm Natalie Bencivenga, host of 5 Minutes With, and I'm honored this week to have a very special guest, Sister Sue Fazzini. Thank you so much for joining me.
My pleasure.
Now, for people that may not know, you are a Benedictine sister. Can you explain a little bit what that means?
Yes, I am a Benedictine sister from Pittsburgh, and we follow the rule of St. Benedict. We live in a community. There are approximately 40 of us right now. However, the order is worldwide. And with the rule of Benedict, it's our motto is work and prayer. So our work is our prayer, and our prayer is our work. And it really fits well with living a lifestyle of service to others.
And speaking of that lifestyle, when we're talking about, walking the walk, you being a follower of Jesus, you hear a lot of things, I think, in the media that have sort of taken the messages of religion and Christianity and used them more self-serving ways. So can you explain when you mean walk the walk, what does that actually entail for you?
Well, I think anybody that's involved in religion, we can always take the scriptures, which are the heart of our life, and live them to their fullest. Mm-hmm. However, they can also be twisted and turned in ways that perhaps people use it as an excuse not to care for the poor. However, when I read the gospel, since a child, I have always been intrigued and challenged and encouraged by the fact that Jesus lived for others. He did not live for himself. He totally lived for others in a very unselfish way. And I truly believe that's our challenge. Look at who he worked with, the lepers, the women of the street, the poor. He was always surrounded by sort of the cast-offs that nobody else wanted. And that's where I feel I am called to be, and I truly believe that that's what the heart of the gospel message is, that we are not to live for ourselves. We are to reach out and live for others and help others as much as we can.
No, and I love that. And, in the world that we've been living in, especially in the last few years and now leading up to this very insane year of 2020, on top of everything else, we have a Supreme Court justice hearing for Amy Coney Barrett, who is Catholic and has spoken out very strongly against, abortion, against LGBTQ rights, against healthcare for all. From your perspective, speaking just for yourself, how does it feel to you to hear all of that? And what message would you instead like for politicians and people in positions of power that are making decisions that are truly impacting people's lives? What message would you like to send to them?
Well, first of all, I still don't understand why Obama's Supreme Court justice wasn't vetted, at least to give the courtesy. And now that we have so few days till election time, we're ramrodding this through. Mm-hmm. However, that being aside, I will never understand why we don't want health care for all. That seems to be a basic human right. Mm-hmm. I don't understand the hatred toward the LGBTQ community. Again, human beings, it's our hearts that matter. Mm-hmm. Aren't we more concerned with what's from the waist up than the waist down? I really don't understand the over concern with that. Mm-hmm. It just seems that we are missing the boat. We're missing the boat of justice for all, of love for all, of where is your heart? Why can't we be compassionate toward all people? That seems to be the message that's missing in the political arena specifically, but in many places.
No, and I totally agree with you. And, I've been following you on social media for a long time, and you really inspire me with a lot of your messaging, but I learned a lot of really interesting things about you today when we were talking a little bit before this interview, that over the course of your experience as a sister, you've fostered with other sisters over 150 children, that you work as an addiction specialist, in particular with men in a maximum security prison. And to me, that is so fascinating, the life that you've had. And can you share some of your experiences in particular about what it means to work with those who are incarcerated? Because I feel like a lot of times, not only do we neglect them in our communities, we don't like to talk about it, we don't like to think about it, but from your experience, can you debunk some myths around what it's like to work with people who are incarcerated?
Oh, sure. I'll tell you, I never expected to do either of those things, foster children or work in a maximum security prison. And they were things that were simply placed, God placed them in my life. And I took up the challenge and ran with it. And as far as working with inside the prison, I've had some of the most incredible conversations with people who are incarcerated. The level of thinking, the level of feeling. Yes, they have done some things, some of them minimal things, some of them heinous things, and yet they're trying to work to make peace with some of the things that they have done, and to ask forgiveness, to go as far as to ask forgiveness to the people they have harmed. Yes, we want to write off the population that's incarcerated. And to do that, we're throwing away the talents of the men or the women that are incarcerated. And I've seen when people get out and the good that they do, the amazing things that they do. And so who are we to say, hey, okay, you made that mistake, you're done. Again, that's not taking away. Some of these guys have done some heinous things, and not everybody is in that spot. There are some bad people that should never be released. However, there's a lot of people that have made a mistake, and when you go back and review their life and talk with them one-on-one, I think there, but for the grace of God, go I.
Thank you so much, Sister, for spending five minutes with me and sharing your thoughts on the world. Are there any other final thoughts you'd like to share before we wrap up?
Yeah, I do. Part of Benedictinism is that we welcome the strangers as Christ, that anyone that comes into your life or comes to your home has the potential to be Christ on earth. And if we all live that way with kindness in our hearts, and when we see another person, we truly see Christ, or whatever spiritual, I'm Christian, obviously, I'm Catholic, obviously, but whatever religion or denomination, or even atheism, if we just treated the other person as a human being rather than as a suspect or an enemy, I think we would all be well off. I
couldn't agree more. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. Many blessings to you.
Thank you so much. It's been a gift.
Same here. Thank you.